Good morning, children. Welcome back to today's session. Children, yesterday we have introduced you on topic called as atmosphere, and I was clear with the definition of atmosphere. Atmos means gas, sphere in the sense the layer. So the gaseous layer present around the earth, we called it as atmosphere. And further we also have seen what are the different gases present around the earth. So there are gases like oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, argon, neon, different kinds of gases were present, and out of them most of it is occupied by the nitrogen gas. 72%, 78% is occupied by the gas like nitrogen. It was only 20-21% which is occupied by oxygen. And later, trying to understand about this layer called as atmosphere, we further divided based upon the available gases in this layer into two types. One is a homosphere, the other one is heterosphere. How did we divide it as a homosphere? Depending upon the uniformity of the composition of gases in this layer, we call it as a homosphere, and it extends up to 90 kilometers from the earth's surface. Whereas heterosphere, hetero means which is a composition of different gases. That's the reason why we called it as a heterosphere. So this layer extends from 90 kilometers, from 90th kilometer to 1000 kilometer. This heterosphere is present. So this homosphere is further divided into three layers. One is a troposphere, and second one is stratosphere, and third one is a mesosphere. These are the three layers. Whereas heterosphere is also divided into two layers. One is the thermosphere, and last one is the exosphere. So this is the types of the layers present in the atmosphere. First we have divided them as homosphere and heterosphere. Further homosphere got divided into troposphere, stratosphere and mesosphere, whereas heterosphere is divided into two, thermosphere and exosphere. So what are the uses of these different layers? Is this the classification only done, or any other classification is present in the atmosphere? So depending upon the density of the gases and depending upon the temperature of the layers, we have further divided. There are many such classifications, but this is one of the well-known classification. So first let us learn about troposphere. This layer actually extends up to 13 kilometers. So 82, the average height is 13 kilometers, but the height of this troposphere varies at the poles as well as at the equator. At the equator it is 18 kilometers from the surface, whereas at the poles it is 8 kilometers, because at the equator, as the conditions are very hot, the atmospheric conditions are very hot, the heat gets transported through the currents, and it extends up to 18 kilometers at the equator. But whereas at the poles it is only 8 kilometers. So the average height of this troposphere is 13 kilometers. And one most important point regarding this troposphere is all the kinds of atmospheric variables like rainfall, precipitation, snowfall, dust and the particulates, these all will be present in this troposphere only. That is between 8 to 18 kilometers of the troposphere only. These all things happen. And apart from that, 75% of the total gases which are present in the atmosphere are also present in this troposphere only. The entire weather phenomenon, the water moisture, these are the water vapor, these all are present in this troposphere. And here you find that the temperature in this layer decreases as you go higher. That is nothing but the normal lapse rate, which we have studied in class 8th, children. The normal lapse rate. What is the normal lapse rate, children? For about 1000 meters height, 6 degrees Celsius of temperature decreases. This is called as normal lapse rate. Normal lapse rate. So this remains in this troposphere. Whereas coming to the next layer is the stratosphere. It extends from 18 kilometers to a height of 50 kilometers. So this layer is almost free from the clouds and associated, and it doesn't associate with any kind of weather phenomenon. As a result of that, making conditions most ideal for the jets to move, flying jets to move. One important feature of the stratosphere is that it contains ozone layer. The harmful rays from the sun gets absorbed in this ozone layer and they doesn't reach to the earth, and due to which the human life is possible on the earth. So this ozone layer is present in this stratosphere only. Remember, it is ideal for the flying jets. It is the layer which contains the ozone layer. And coming to the temperature increases as you go, as the altitude increases. That means reverse to the normal lapse rate. Generally in troposphere, as the height increases, the temperature decreases. But whereas in stratosphere, as the altitude, that the height increases, the temperature also increases. So that's the change which happens in the stratosphere. And the next one is the mesosphere. What is the speciality of this mesosphere is, it extends to a height of 80 kilometers. It extended up to 50 kilometers, and from 50 to 80 kilometers it is the mesosphere, whereas it extends up to 18 kilometers. So it extends up to 80 to 90 kilometers, the mesosphere, and here it is a mesosphere means it is a place where the meteoroids, the astronomical, what we call astronomical bodies which get burnt up in this in the space happens in this sphere only. The temperature starts decreasing with the increase in the altitude. That means again the same kind of thing. The temperature decreases as the altitude increases in the mesosphere. The only speciality of this mesosphere is the meteoroids are burnt here. That is the speciality of mesosphere. Thermosphere, from where to where it extends? It generally extends up to 400 kilometers. From 80 to 400 kilometers this sphere extends, and the speciality of the thermosphere is that the temperature rises rapidly with increase in the altitude with the height. That means just like the stratosphere where the temperature increases with the increase in the height, this happens even in the thermosphere. It contains electrically charged particles called as ions. These electrically charged particles called as ions are present in the thermosphere, and these ions reflect back the radio waves onto the earth's surface. The radio waves, the radios function with the waves, isn't it? Okay, these ions will reflect back. So the radio waves are transmitted to the earth's surface only with the help of those ions. These are the electrically charged particles which are present in the thermosphere. And it is also known as the ionosphere because ions are present here. It is also called as ionosphere. And the last sphere from 400 kilometers to 1000 kilometers is the exosphere. It is the uppermost layer of the atmosphere, and not much is known about this sphere because this is the highest layer and very little is very much known about it. So these are the different kinds of layers present in the atmosphere, children. First we have divided them as homosphere and heterosphere. Further, homosphere is divided into troposphere, stratosphere and mesosphere, and heterosphere is divided into thermosphere and exosphere. Troposphere extends up to a height of 18 kilometers. The average height is 13 kilometers. The stratosphere extends up to a height of 50 kilometers. Mesosphere extends up to a height of 80 kilometers. Whereas thermosphere extends up to a height of 400 kilometers, and exosphere, the maximum height of the atmosphere is 1000 kilometers. So this is about the spheres, children. And next we shall learn about the pressure belts. Pressure belts. What are these pressure belts? In order to understand the pressure belts, first you must know that air has a pressure. Do you think that air has a pressure? Do you feel? Pressure in the sense whether it exerts any pressure air? No, you don't know. Let me tell you one experiment, a balloon experiment. Okay, blow air into two balloons, okay, tie to a balance or a stick and see whether they both are balanced. Then blast one balloon. See whether the stick bends or whether it still balances. That means air has some weight, so it pulls down one side of the stick. The balloon which has got blasted rises up. So with this experiment, it can be proved that air exerts some pressure. Air has some weight, and when it has weight, it exerts some pressure. So when we feel that air exerts pressure, so how much pressure does it exert? Does it really show? In order to understand that one, so this push effect they exert together on any object is described as a air pressure. So the air exerts pressure not only from the top, but it exerts from the bottom, from all the sides of the object. The air exerts pressure. Whether air exerts only from the top? No, air exerts from different sides, from all the sides. The pressure of the air increases when the molecules are present. When more molecules are present, more pressure will be there. When less molecules are present, less pressure will be there. What are these molecules? Now let us imagine this as a air. Okay. These are the molecules present in this air, in this volume of air. Okay. Very tightly packed. Very tightly packed. Then automatically the pressure exerted by this air will be high, and there is another thing. See, the molecules are less, so the molecules less one will exert less pressure, the molecules more one will exert more pressure. So it depends upon the number of molecules present in the air. So how it gets decided? This usually happens on the surface of the earth. As the earth pulls most of the air molecules towards the surface due to its gravitational pull, it pulls the molecules. So however this change is written, this changes when earth gets heated up. Automatically when it gets heated up, the molecules they get more energy, and they leave the gravitational pull energy, isn't it? And they keep on flying up. They had got energy now, so they can move up. So it happens when gas molecules are heated up usually. So due to the heating of the earth's surface, these gas molecules which are present around the earth also gets heated up. So once they get the energy, lot of energy, they start moving very fastly. They keep on flying away and away. So this initially would mean an increase in the pressure, as they will push the object more. So however the energized molecules will get more energy, they start flying off higher and higher. Remember, they have more energy even to defy the pull of the earth's gravity. The earth has the gravity naturally, so they defy in the sense they beat, they have such energy that they leave the earth's gravity and they keep on flying away and away. So remember that they can even defy the gravity once they get heated up. Once they get heated up, they keep on flying up. So when more molecules go to the higher reaches of the atmosphere, the places near to the earth will have less of them. So when this means that less pushing around less pushing are around, and we also call it as a less pressure is around. So when it is hot, it will be high pressure. When it is cold, it will be low pressure. So that is what the geographers have identified, that when it gets hot, the pressure becomes low. When it becomes cool, the pressure becomes the air pressure increases. So in simpler terms, if one increases, the other decreases. This is called as inverse relationship. That is nothing but, children, when the temperature is high, the pressure is low. When the temperature is low, the pressure is high. And this relationship is called as inverse relationship. Don't worry, children, if you could not understand today's air molecules, how they get heated up and how this pressure exerts, tomorrow again I shall discuss with you about the air pressure. But remember that when the temperature increases, the pressure decreases. When temperature decreases, the pressure increases. This is the inverse relationship between the temperature and the pressure. So let us see in the next class about the planetary winds and about the pressure belts. Thank you, children.